Where this is how you get your customers to believe in you and to give you their friends and their family.
This is the Healey Brothers Show.
All right, so welcome back to Healey Brothers Show. We got Nick Tobar, one of our top salesmen in the whole Healey group, the referral king we call him. James Barrett, general manager of Hyundai, used to be the general manager here at Kia until he got promoted to our biggest volume store in the group. And we have Nicky, our producer and content creator. So I just want to welcome you guys all and thanks for the time today.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, the main point we're going to make here today is our successful referral program, why it's so important, how it benefits the consumer, how ours works, and so forth, and also your process, what you do for consumer, how you go out of your way to help it, how James is trained that way, how James is a big believer in it, and the trust it builds.
Your point of view is the best we can get since you're the referral.
Yeah,
team.
I mean,
so
your
point of view is something that is really going to help not just our customers understand it, but even possibly other sales members within our company that listen to this to help understand your process of why you make it work so well. So this can be beneficial not just to the customer, but to our dealer group.
You know, I have to give a lot of that success for the referral program to James. You know, he's kind of instilled it in me in the beginning. You know, this is how you retain your customer. This is how you get your customers to believe in you and to give you their friends and their family that, you know, you normally won't show that part. You know, a lot of customers, they don't want their friends and family to go anywhere and spend money. They want to make sure that they're confident that they're going to be taken care of. In the beginning, it started with letters, right? So mailing out letters to customers because I had a small business back then. It was very small, you know, only selling 12 or 13 cars a month. And, you know, that's where we started, sending a letter out.
It's got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
And it starts from instilling what real good business and a good business plan will flourish to as time goes on. Everybody starts with sales. They don't realize that as time goes on, that just can multiply over and over again with treating people properly, doing business the right way, giving massive, you know, just being, giving massive value to the customers as we deal with them throughout the process of buying cars that they don't do often, and we do every single day. So, you know, the referral program's great. We give $200 every time somebody refers somebody to us, but we can give $2,000. They wouldn't refer somebody to us if we didn't do an amazing job and make sure that their friends or family member would be comfortable.
Absolutely.
When doing business with.
So Nick, you just want to go over your process a little bit, how you do it, not just the referral program, how you handle a customer from the start to finish, and how you go about, hey, tell your friends, family, all that stuff. I'm here to take care of you, I build trust and your book of business. So if you just want to talk about that a little bit.
Everything really starts at the hello part, right? Finding out how they came here, why they came here. From there, they kind of start to give us some information. You know, they were sent here by a friend or a family member, or even driving by, and then building that rapport with them, finding out, you know, that we have some sort of mutual just liking, right? That's everybody wants to know, like, oh, how do you sell so many cars? Well, a lot of people had the experience with me, bought a car. Some of them haven't bought cars. Some of them enjoyed the experience so much that they just send family and friends to me, and they never bought a car from me. So, which is actually pretty cool. That's probably one of the most biggest parts of the puzzle of like creating this business, right? You want people to know your name. You want people that kind of, you know, they're out to dinner or out to lunch, and, you know, hey, I'm thinking about getting a car. Great, go see my guy. Yeah. You know, that's probably one of the coolest parts.
I mean, what's better than word of mouth? That's the best marketing you could possibly do. And plus, you get like, hey, I know that guy. You automatically get that trust factor, I think, which is huge.
You talked about like when they come in, like figuring out if they were referred. I'm assuming there's a portion of referrals that start over the phone, not just when they come in and say they refer to them. Like, is there? I'm imagining you have some experience where a customer just calls you and say, "Hey, Nancy referred me to you," and then you could start on the phone before they even come in.
Yeah, most of the time I encourage all my customers, listen, here's my number, because we're going to do a follow-up call, no matter if it's pre-owned, certified pre-owned, you know, or brand new. We're going to do a follow-up phone call. On that follow-up phone call,
And how does the follow-up phone call go?
usually, hey, how's everything going? You know, usually they have my number already in their phone. That's one thing that a lot of salespeople don't do with customers. First thing I do, put my cell phone number in their phone. Because if they have it, they know how to reach me. Calling the dealership, you know, emailing, my phone number is the best point of contact, right? From there, you know, doing the follow-up phone call, they know who's calling them, they're gonna answer. and then after that, we just start asking them, how is your experience with the vehicle so far? Don't forget to take advantage of our referral program. And if they do buy a vehicle, we reward you with $200, and then we start there. That's the start of it.
And James, you just want to put your touch on it, since you're the training master and the guy that instills every single process, the follow-up and all that from start to finish?
I'll start again with it all comes down to the experience. You can't ask for someone to refer a friend or family member to you if you didn't do an exceptional job throughout. You can ask them all you want, but you're not going to get it. So, every piece of the puzzle matters. How they were greeted, the informational part of it. Do they want to see you again? And not only do they want to see you again, do they want to see you in service? Do they want to see you? Do they want you to have? Do they want their friends and family to have a similar experience that they had? I mean, there's a lot of mediocrity out there. I mean, there's literally too much of it. If you have a mediocre experience, like there's nothing that's going to be embedded in your brain to say, I want to do this again. So the process part comes in every shape. Every part of everything that we do has to be exceptional in order for this program to ever work. Some people some do better with it than others. Some people come into the dealership and they were referred, not necessarily to a specific salesperson, just to our experience that you have at Healey Brothers. And we've worked really hard as a company to have that experience and to have that, organic referral program happen each and every day. It's what we've instilled in our culture. And Nick is truly, the epitome of, what we thrive to train and instill in salespeople. He's the person that we can go look back to and say, I wish we could train every single person the same exact way and have 50 of them. And
believe me, the Healey group definitely thinks about that every single day.
Would you say builds trust between your salesperson and like you as a manager, in a sense of having that program and training them right? Does it build a sense of trust between them and the company? So when I mean like trust, right, like it's something that we offer to them to aid their job. So would you say that builds a sense of trust between the salesperson and the company because we created a program that can?
Yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah. So I mean, first of all, in our business specifically, when it comes to car sales, the biggest fail that most companies do is the lack of training to their sales staff. It's the biggest fail. And the reason why it fails is the salespeople don't have a cohesiveness to the sales managers because they don't really necessarily know exactly what they were supposed to be doing to begin with. They weren't trained every day to say, this is what I expect, and this is what this is what we expect from you, and this is what you should expect from us. And when you have that dynamic, I mean, everybody in the sales department will thrive because there's no guessing. So you want to set a salesperson up for life. Training is absolutely the most important part of it. Knowing exactly what to expect from them, and then hold people accountable for the things and the ways of your business. You have to hold them accountable. They're going to be front facing to customers that come in, and the customers can feel exactly what kind of environment they're walking into, and I know for a fact that they feel that every day they come into here.
Well, I also think a consumer always wants a true professional. Like, it's your profession to be the best you can be, and they're looking for guidance. When they come in here, they're not just here to really just do nothing and look at cars. They want someone to guide them to make the best educated decision for themselves. And it also helps, like, just to tie it back to the referral program, they're coming in here with a little bit of trust. Hey, Nick does the right job, has the right customer experience, and takes it to the next level to really help me choose the car I want, whether it's new or used or certified. I just think that's what also sets us apart. So,
well, he has to know his stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a true professional.
Customers are coming in knowing quite a bit. Every day they know more and more as they come in, and sometimes it's just the part of the salesperson is just to make sure that the information they've gathered is correct, or to educate them further than what they know, or guide them in the right direction or a different direction depending on what's best for the customer. But the salesperson has to be completely professional. They have to know everything about what they're doing and how they do it, more so than everybody else that comes in the door. That's absolutely imperative to the future of our business, that we, again, continue to build massive value on that visit to the dealership.
So when you said information gathered, do you mean gather from the potential client? Like when he has that phone call when you say information gathering?
Well, no, I mean customers gather information prior to ever walking into the dealership.
Oh, so even their own information that they gather themselves.
When it's
Simple as an email, the right emailers.
I mean, if I know more than the person I'm doing business with, I don't need them, right? I can skip them.
Okay.
I need, for the back to the referrals and the way that a salesperson's business will continue to multiply is every single time I talk to somebody, I know more than they do about the topic that we're going over, and they need me in the future to make things easier for them. That's the only way that it makes any sense for somebody to want to come back over and over again to the same person. That person has to know their business better than me, whether it's financial investing, car sales, buying a sofa, I don't care who it is.
Jewelry guy.
It doesn't matter, right.
You need to have your guy. You need to have your comfort blanket almost too.
Because if not, there's no benefit to you.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. There's no benefit to the customer if they didn't know.
Yeah.
And that's where the trust and confidence comes in, right? They trust us that everything that we're doing is right, and they're confident that we're going to end with the right result, right? Based on all the information that we're giving them. So when they come in and they know their info, they know what kind of car they're looking for, pricing, all that, and then we bring it to the table and we match up basically what they're looking for, and that's where the goal is, right? That's where the happy part comes into play.
And sometimes we even surprise them with something they didn't even think about, and that's really where our value.
I mean, I think that's where every consumer needs that wow factor. That's what makes them think about you again, or think about Healey, or think about doing business with Nick. I mean, I'm drawing a blank on the book I read, but it's the simplest book ever, and it's just about the wow factor and never having to market again. It's just giving that customer one because they tell someone else, like, hey, I was wowed. Let me give them a shot, kind of a thing. So that wow factor is huge. I think a lot of our guys, and we try to make it so every single time a customer comes in, they have that wow factor, like, oh my God, Nick did as simple as made sure I got coffee, chips, water, and wow, he told me about something about a car that I thought I was going to get, but actually doesn't work for me and my family. But he put me in the right vehicle. That helped me. So I think it just comes down to professional. James's training and all that to make this process work well.
Remembering somebody's name isn't a fluke. I mean, some people have better memories than others, but the fact of the matter is, to remember somebody's name means that something happened that was different than either what was expected or that you thought could have happened, or there's got to be something. Like a wow factor may be too much of a phrase to use, or perfect, depending on the circumstances. But again, referrals come from people remembering somebody's name. That name is remembered because of something that they did that was up and above the norm. You don't remember a restaurant you went to if it was the average restaurant.
Oh.
You don't remember somebody at a party that had an average conversation, that you had an average conversation with. There has to be something set different than the norm for that person to be remembered. And that could be experience, knowledge, friendliness, it could be anything, but it's got to be something.
I agree 1,000% with that.
So what do you do to make sure, since you do so well with the referral program, what do you do so well that you can recommend to some of our other sales members of how you can get that client to remember your name?
I think it's just the way that you treat them.
He writes it with a Sharpie on their forehead when they...
No, I think it's definitely changing the customer experience, right? You don't want to be average. Average, they're not going to remember you. They're not going to remember your name. They may remember the building, but that's it, right? I think it was one customer in particular. It was back when we first started, came back for a second car. It was like 3 or 4 months later, but it was still new to selling cars. They didn't remember me, and that was like just a punch in the stomach, because it was like, man, how could they not remember me? I'm the only chubby guy in this place. You know what I mean? Like, how did they not remember me? But then after that, sending out letters, customer follow-up, all of that plays into the success, right? The customer is going to remember that you called them, their birthdays, their wives' birthdays, their anniversaries, right? There's little things that you put in.
And the social media you're at, your whole social media tag and all that stuff as well.
Yes. So all those little things are, the customers remember it, right? They love that stuff. I like to do it. It's one thing if you're like, I don't even want to call them. You call them, right? It's probably one of the better part of our job, staying in touch, because then they're going to tell you, hey, son's graduating college, we need a car. That's great. That's what you want to hear. That's how it all starts.
Well, that turns in mostly the exceptional part. Even if the experience, like even if you messed up a day, you had a bad day, you went over a car, you did everything you were supposed to, but it wasn't exceptional. The follow-up itself becomes the exceptional part, because the average salesperson doesn't see the value in making sure that they're in front of that customer always. Those letters are exceptional. Everybody doesn't send letters out.
And not automated letters, like really written.
Sure. Yeah. Everybody doesn't call for remind you that that is your birthday, and then I'm thinking of you. People, these little things can be the exceptional part as well. And that's where another thing that salespeople always fall is they think, all right, that person, you could have completely messed something up, but you have opportunities to fix it over and over again. And it's that effort that's the difference between being successful in this business or being average.
I really would have never thought that there would be sales personnel that really don't see the benefit in that follow-up phone call. I would have thought that that was just kind of something that was like the norm.
But it's in every industry. It's not just the auto industry. It's every single industry. The follow-up, and I know we harp on it all the time. It's just you got to hold them accountable. Like that's the only way to get it done.
Have you bought furniture?
No, I'm a young kid. I haven't bought furniture. My parents have bought it all.
Well played.
Yeah.
Played.
Okay.
But he followed up with his parents to make sure he had the right furniture.
But wherever bought the furniture, do they ever follow up? They have the same information. Like the expectations are people buy furniture a lot, probably more often than they do buy cars, right? Yeah. But you don't. But for some reason, so you want to be super successful at furniture shopping, you better start making phone calls.
You want to know what has really good follow-up? So if you go to like Nordstrom's, and you obviously they get paid on commission there, those guys actually follow up so well to see if you got the right stuff. Is it tailored correctly? Hey, by the way, we have new stuff comes in. They just so I just thought that was phenomenal. I mean, that's what.
And the average person there isn't there for 20 years like they are in the car business.
And you think,
and it's just, but if we can instill that with every single person, we can be more and more successful as a company.
I think it all starts with the salesperson realizing it works, right? Because if salesperson doesn't think it works, they're not going to do it.
What was an example you can remember when you realized it worked?
Oh,
I mean, he's been doing it for so long. Probably realized like he could build his own book of business in 2 seconds.
But he hasn't been doing it for that long. That's the thing, is right? Because of how well Nick does, you think that he's been doing this for 30 years, and he hasn't.
no. Not about
9?
9 years.
9 years. He's literally doing the business of what people tend to do in 25 years in 9.
Well, you're also talking to him. He was, what were you, 10?
9 years ago, I was 14.
Yeah.
I guess the real answer to your question is having people advocate for you, right? A family member was at a party and some random person was talking about me in a good way and just, hey, you should go see this person. Their name is Nick Tobar. And my brother just sat there and goes, that's my brother. You know what I mean? So it's like even that situation, and it was Bev Kennelly who actually did it. So
shout out to her. She's
the best.
She's Healey's #1 for sure. That lady is
that's how it works, right? Taking care of her family, her entire family, whether they're driving trucks, Kias, doesn't matter. Helping them, all of them. That's the success.
And just being their information too. You're not just selling them cars. You're being their information and their guide. Like, hey, she'll call and ask like, hey, what do I do with this? And you're like, hey, let me try to help you. Let me figure out a solution for you. So anything auto related, I think that's key too, is giving that extra wow experience.
But the immediate gratification is typically the point that salespeople are either going to be successful or not. Because again, you have to realize like people don't buy cars every other day. The more expensive product that you're selling, the less often that one client is going to be a client again. So the first time somebody sells cars, to think about, hey, I need you to think of what 4 or 5 years from now will bring. If you can get somebody on the same wavelength of that and saying, I'm literally going to do this exact thing every time throughout the next 5 years, and in 5 years I'm going to have an incredible book of business where I get to make my own hours. I get to only speak to customers that I want to and when I want to. But it's difficult because 5 years is a long time.
Yeah, it's you're delaying gratification, which is very hard for the human. Like, it's very hard for humans to delay gratification. And
you go to college for 4 years. Until you graduate college, you don't have that job. That's 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm literally saying in 5 years, whether you have the degree or not, in 5 years, you can be super successful.
Delayed gratification's hard, but like I think it's necessary because now what are you saying? You're getting 5 to 10 referrals a month. And some salespeople only even sell 10 cars or less a month. What is the average salesperson does what?
8.
8, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably.
And you're getting,
That's huge.
I'm not calling them freebies, but you put that work in now. Hey, if you have a bad month, but you're still guaranteeing yourself at least 5 to 10 opportunities of people that are coming in with trust. They know who you are, they're asking for you, and they're going to give you the chance to blow them away. So I think that's huge. And just for people to really understand that, I mean, one day it's going to get to where you're going to have 15 to 20 people calling.
That answers your question. It was December, I believe, 2020, and I had 13 referrals sold that month. which was strong because I think I only sold 16 cars. So, so it definitely works. Definitely works.
Marketing, word of mouth, and people like getting testimonials from their friends and family are so huge. Like there's nothing better to do. Like, you can't do anything better. Like if someone tells me about someone, like, hey, to go try it, somewhere place to eat, I'm gonna give it a go just based on what they like. So
Well, the barrier is down.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you haven't met somebody before, and the toughest thing as a salesperson is dealing with somebody who had a bad experience elsewhere. It had nothing to do with you, had nothing to do with the business that you're working at, your brand most of the time, none of that. And because that was a bad experience elsewhere, it travels into you. Now, when somebody's referred, that initial barrier is gone. Both parties, the salesperson and the customer, have a better experience. Both of them. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. You both realize, hey, I got nothing to worry about. You were referred to me. I'm hoping that somebody I did business with wouldn't send me somebody that's going to be a really, really difficult person, And at the same time, they know that I'm not going to be a difficult person to sell them a car. So that's the best. It prevents a lot of sales fatigue by having that kind of business. And and it also changes the ups and the downs. Ups and downs in sales is a really difficult thing. Sometimes people get out of sales because of the downs. But working on your business and getting more and more referrals and repeats, and it prevents those downs.
I mean, also referrals pretty much say during down times in the auto industry when we're going through, I would say, sales are down overall in the country. When you have a referral, you tend to have a book of business where you can really build off of and not just survive, but you could thrive through downturns. So I think that's another huge part that people just forget. Like when you build this future of relationships, people are going to come to you because money's tighter. They do need a new car because it's either past its time, leases up, but when you have that referral business, it's huge. You could stay alive and thrive.
You know what it makes me think of to almost compare it to? Think about it. In an economic down portion, everyone's got subscriptions that they don't cancel. Are you canceling your Hulu subscription because it's a tough economic time? No. So if you have a referral program that's sending you 5 or 10 customers a month, you basically have a subscription service. If you look at it from that picture, so that's not gonna go away. Nick is the Hulu
of the car sales. Yeah, you're not canceling Nick during downtime.
That's what it can make me think of is subscriptions, because obviously every company now has realized subscriptions are a business model that works. Because no one cancels their subscriptions.
Well, look at Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness figured it out. They'll charge somebody $8 and they'll just never cancel their gym membership.
They even created apps to figure out if you haven't canceled a membership.
Going to go to the gym or something.
They knew that. They knew that. They knew that when they did that. Yeah.
So just to move on here, I want to touch, since you're on the ground level, you're working with the customers hands-on all day. What is it like on the consumer side? What are they saying to you? How do they like the program? How are those interactions when they receive the I know the $200 is not make or break because they trust you're building that, but it's nice for them to receive. So what are they saying to you? How are you hearing on the consumer side what they think about the referral program?
I mean, they all like it. They enjoy it. The fact that we do something or reward them for actually sending a family or friend in. I think the biggest thing is just knowing that their friend or family member was taken care of, right? The follow phone call with the customer, knowing that they're good, and then I follow up with the referral customer or who referred them, and it's always the same thing. Thank you. Just thank you for taking care of them, because now the conversation is, oh, I can't believe they did what they did to me. No, it's they enjoyed the experience, right? The Healey experience has changed completely from since we started over in Windsor to here now. It's just everything has changed, right? Because we're no longer salespeople. It's all customer service, right? You're problem solving. That's all you're doing. And it's just knowing that the customer that sent them is extremely happy, you build that confidence, and they're a repeat customer. They're going to come back. That's most of what we hear.
How many times somebody refers somebody, they said, no, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I just thank you for taking care of somebody.
A lot.
Yeah, I mean, I have a family friend that does that, and every year I send him a bottle of wine, but he sends me 4 or 5 people, and they come all the way from Westchester. They're his friends that he either does business with or members at the golf club he's at, but he just sends me the number. He goes, hey, Jay, take care of him. He's stress-free. They get their car. Sometimes we'll even deliver it down to Westchester area. But he just feels so much more comfortable because he's like a younger guy. His families are growing, so they need the bigger SUVs. Not all the luxury brands have those big SUVs because these guys have 3 or 4 kids now, so they need the Suburbans. They need the Expeditions and the Navigators. So that's just another one. The guy goes, don't ever give me anything. I send him a nice bottle of wine every year. He goes, I just feel trusted because I do business with these guys every day. I want them to do business with people that I cherish.
And that's a feather in his cap too.
Yeah.
Because now he says, I can make sure I know my people are going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So, so keep sending them that wine.
Yeah.
You know, out of curiosity, to talk about the wow factor, remembering your name, obviously something you did different than any other salesperson is that sign you have at your desk.
Yes.
You think that plays a role in it?
It does. My yard signs actually helped out pretty
the
well.
yard
too.
sign
I
as
do,
well?
I do.
Ah.
Not happy with the ones who put mustaches on my face though. That's not cool. Or put hair on my head. But definitely works. Definitely works. My number's on there, and it's very helpful. They see, scrolling through the internet, they see a picture, they see me with the customer handing over the keys, and getting that phone call or text message. Hey, you don't know me, but can you help me out? It's definitely a good conversation starter.
So what originally made you think to do that? Especially the one downstairs, because that one's massive, and no other salesman has it at their desk. So what?
Yeah, we'll give you that idea. Why did you decide to do those signs?
We got hooked up with, James hooked us up with John Dawson from Psychology, and through my networking with the top salespeople in the country, there was one gentleman who does signs, and the biggest, I guess every salesperson had similar signs, yard signs, fan gear. It was just one sign that every single person has it. And I was like, why does everybody have it? And they said, it's getting your name out there. It's getting the store's name out there. And people see that, and they see.
You got to be pretty good to have somebody put a yard sign in their yard about buying a car.
Yeah.
That's
Beverly have about 100 of them in her yard.
No, she doesn't. The apartment building will let her put it in the front yard, but it's good. It's definitely, you're just networking.
Yeah, that John Dawson definitely has some good tricks of the trade.
Yeah, he added a lot of value to us as salespeople, because he said, you're building your own business. A lot of salespeople can't get their head around that. They just think they work for a place and then they just sell cars. No, you're building a business. That's the
Yeah, or they get the, hey, Healey's going to funnel me all these customers because they market like crazy. They're going to funnel it all. My workload doesn't have to be down. I mean, the last COVID obviously was a damper because there was no cars. Like, hey, this is the car, this is what you're going to buy. But
Yeah.
before that, I think some people get in their head when they come here, like, oh, Healey gets all the business. They have the big brand name. Yeah, we do market, we do brand, but
You got 15 salespeople,
Yeah, but-
and that breaks up between.
yeah. So they get this thought in their head, like, hey, all the traffic's gonna come in. It's gonna be hand over fist every single day. Meanwhile, like a brand could have a minor issue, a setback where the brand's not performing as well. That could hurt. We see that with FCA, or sorry, Stellantis. But you have to build that book of business, so you can't rely on all marketing or the brand being great. You have to be able to sell used cars, new cars, certified. So this program really just does that. And like, you are your own business technically inside the dealership. Yes, we help. Yes, we give you training. Yes, the managers are a part of it. Yes, we want to follow our ethics and what we believe in, and help the community the way we do. But at the end of the day, you have to build your own book of business.
Yeah.
So the last thing I really want to touch on is, since, I mean, this podcast is for consumer, but also for other business and stuff like that. But we also clip it up and help our consumers and talk about the program, how it benefits them, how it benefits us, giving them the best possible experience that we always talk about, and creating customer loyalty. And we always touch on that. Creating customer loyalty makes our jobs easier. You have to spend less money in marketing, but also it's better for everyone, including the consumer. So why do you recommend, and why should every single business, how every single car dealership should do this? What are your reasoning why they wouldn't do it?
That's a really good question. I don't know why a dealer wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's a hard question that I've been thinking about, but like, why wouldn't you to do it, to have someone speak on your behalf, to drive someone to do business with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean,
Doesn't make sense.
More importantly, I mean, does every facility or every dealer capable of training their salespeople well enough to earn the referral? That's a good point. And that's just, again, we could go back to that. I mean, if there was a conversation and a poll with every dealer in the country, why do most dealers, with the exception of us, and obviously there's other brands out, or other dealer groups out there that have very low turnover, but why is there such a high turnover in the business? If you were to poll all of those places that have that kind of turnover, what was the reason that they left? And I believe truly that the first answer would be is the lack of training. The lack of showing me this new business that I didn't know existed, and then got into it and wasn't trained properly in order to be able to do a great job. And if you can't train people to do a great job, how are you going to train them to be able to say, you can earn a referral by doing something exceptional? It's not going to happen. So why doesn't everybody do it? I don't know. I mean, do they have the time to train? Do they have the time, do they get the capability of training to the level that we do in order to instill that into their staff and build that culture? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult question by any industry. You hear about all these gurus too. They talk about in their books, like, I can't remember the book, but hopefully it'll come to me. But like the guy, Alex Ramosi, the big Jack guy that's always all over podcasts, the mustacheacquisition.com, he talks about a referral program. He goes, why wouldn't you do it? He goes, it's the number one, that's how I get to buy other businesses. I just set up a referral to buy these other businesses. I don't understand when I see like dealers, I was like, I'll ask like guys in the 20 group. And they're just like, we just don't do it.
Well, I'm glad they don't do it.
Yeah.
Because if they did it, it's easier for us for the fact that they don't do it.
I'll never understand. I thought you might have be able to shed some light, but I can't figure it out. So
economically, it's not. I can't figure it out. Intelligently, I can't figure it out. No, I got nothing.
And plus, it instills an easier process for follow up too. Like, hey, why not do the follow up? Because you could actually add that in there. You're not actually annoying the customer. I know you're seeing how they're doing, but
annoying. I mean, we have some people that make their car payments every month by the referrals. I mean, literally, a couple times a month, you send a couple people out of all the people somebody talks to. They get them to buy a few of them buy a car every month. They literally have no car payment. I mean, that's the way that a lot of people.
It's a good way to look at it.
They look at it as Christmas time, holiday time. I got a bunch of referrals. I got these cards that are money that I'm going to buy.
My grandkids, my kids are all getting
gas. You can't complain about gas. All you got to do is send us one referral a month.
It comes in a Healey gift card that they could use literally anywhere. So it's still in
restaurants. I mean, again, it just goes on for days.
So from a really big picture as the company, just how much do you think it impacts our connection with the local community? Because connection isn't just sales, it's image, it's understanding us. So it's not just the number of sales we get from the local community, it's our image that they get from us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always a positive image. I think referral programs build the trust and that loyalty where they're thinking like, oh, Healey Brothers does this, and they really care about the consumer, and they care about taking care of friends, family, friends of friends, and we're willing to take the extra step to make that wow experience. I think that's really what it comes from. I mean, Nick deals with it every single day. Maybe he could touch a little more of the image of the...
I think it's just showing that we're confident enough that we're going to give you the best experience possible, and we'll reward you.
So all the things that we do factor into that. People see what we do with the community. They see the volunteering that we do.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors.
Yeah, they see all of those things, and this is just like another piece of the puzzle that kind of fits.
It's like a cherry on top.
Exactly, exactly. I think it all comes together.
Well, I don't have much more here, but I think the viewers definitely understand the importance of a referral program, why we benefit so well from it, and not most importantly, the consumer and their family and friends get to have a phenomenal experience and join more of a family. And we always say family at Healey Brothers, so they get to join more of a family. And Nick, I'm sure Nick. And I know Nick makes them feel like family every single time. They call, text, email.
Always, yeah.
Nick's got a lot more family members than most.
I do want. It's good though. It's probably one of the best things, having that conversation with somebody and explaining. Listen, I'm gonna talk to you just as if you were my parents. And then when customers hear that, they look at me and they're like, okay, I'm going to take this guy serious. Even younger kids, new buyers, they've never experienced it before. They hear with a parent who have bought a ton of cars and terrible experiences, and then giving that good experience for that first car buyer, it definitely separates us from anybody else.
Anything else?
No, nothing else.
All right, well, Nick, I appreciate it, the referral king. So
Always.
We'll jump on this. We'll jump on this again, of course. Maybe we can get Beverly on here one time.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.